It's like when you've got a limited amount of water to fish and you have a ever expanding group of anglers to fish, and you also have, and it's not just that you have more anglers than ever that has been fishing, but you have a higher quality, higher caliber of anglers. 30 years ago, yeah, there may have been a lot of bass fishermen out there, but most of them didn't even know what they were doing. They didn't know how to catch fish. They didn't know much about fishing. And now with the advent of social media and YouTube videos, there's more people fishing, and they're better than they've ever been. So this puts a tremendous amount of fishing pressure on the resources. And not only does it deplete the fisheries, but it also educates the fish. And that's one of the reasons, one of the biggest problems we have in the sport is we are in front of highly educated, very finicky, very smart fish a lot of times. And that's why bass fishing is difficult so much at times, especially on a public body of water. So that fishing pressure, it acts the same way to a fish as some type of big environmental change. In other words, everybody knows that fishing gets tougher, like after the lake floods out or after there's a bad cold front that rolls through. Fish have adapted to do the same thing with fishing pressure. It's like when they hear an increase in noise decibel levels, they hear an increase in the boat traffic, recreational and fishing boat traffic both, they shut off and they get into a negative mode. They get into a negative feeding mode with that. So that's sort of a biological adaptation and evolution of the fish as they're getting more wary, as time goes on and human presence is a little bit more active. So in terms of what you can do about this, there's not much that you can do about it. You can't and you don't want to discourage people from fishing, because fishing is such a wholesome therapeutic activity that we don't ever want to tell people they can't fish. The obvious solution to that is we got to have more places to fish. And that's why I've always been a big advocate about building more lakes and ponds around the country, having some type of government subsidies that will take dilapidated areas and build a 300 or 400 acre lake there, or just make more water available. Because anytime that you have more water available, it not only provides, a recreational benefit through, just the park-like setting or being out on the boat or fishing or whatever, provides a really stable wildlife habitat for a variety of creatures. We just got to have more lakes and ponds and stuff like that across the country. So that's a pretty easy fix. Okay, now the man-made climate change here, guys. Like I said, whether you want to choose to live in denial of reality, if you tell me that man-made climate change is a hoax, you might as well try to tell me the Earth's flat. It's on the same level, in my opinion, in terms of denial of